Hello, everyone, and welcome to my review of Superman, the movie. This one right here. Yes, well, in case you didn't know, I have seen Batman vs Superman, and considering that has just come out, I thought it would be best to go back and review the Superman movies. I have reviewed the Batman movies, some of which are on my other channel, some of which are on this channel. They're all in this playlist. So go and check those out for my thoughts on Batman. But for Superman, I haven't reviewed them yet, so today I'm reviewing the first movie, Superman the movie, directed by Richard Donner, starring Christopher Reeve. So, the basic plot of Superman the movie is that we start out on Krypton, which is the home planet of Superman. His biological parents decide to send him away to Earth because the planet is dying, and the planet is dying and is about to be destroyed. Jor-El, who is Superman's father, is defying with the council to try and sort this issue out, and then he decides to send his son away to Earth. And the planet gets destroyed. The boy grows up to be Clark Kent and discovers, he's raised by two farmers. And he then goes out into the world to discover who he is. He discovers he has these powers and stuff. He's not really that social. He doesn't really fit into that kind of crowd. And he has to learn to accustom to the ways of the people. And he gets a job in the Daily Planet where he becomes a news reporter. And then he discovers through this piece of crystal from his home planet who he really is, and his father speaks to him in like a vision and says to him, "Oh, you were sent here to basically save the Earth, to bring justice to the Earth, and to be Superman," if that makes sense. And throughout there, it goes on from there. We meet Lex Luthor, who's this businessman. He wants to destroy sort of San Andreas vault and stuff with his nuclear weapons. I'm not going to go too much into that. And yeah, there's also a love story brewing between Superman and Lois Lane, who is a reporter who's trying to find out more about him. So, Superman the movie. I had not seen this film for a long time. I hadn't seen the sequels, actually. I'd only seen this one. It had been years since I watched this film, and having rewatched it, I can safely say I really like it. It's a lot better than what I remember it to be. First of all, I think this is such a great, fun film. I think it was sort of the first big superhero film to really shine in the cinema, in cinema history. You can tell Richard Donner and co have made this with a great sense of fun, and that's what I like about it. There is a great sense of fun with this film, and you can tell that the cast and everyone are having a ball with this movie. It's great. It's really good. I love it. It's far from perfect, but as a start to the Superman movies, it is good, and I'm really glad the way it turned out. First of all, I think the story is, it's the origin story, and it works. It's simple and it works. It's good. When compared to Man of Steel, this is the stronger one by far. I will review Man of Steel eventually. I'm going to review all of the films and then rank them, including Batman vs Superman in the ranking. But this film is great. It's a very good introduction. I like Christopher Reeve very much in the role. I think he plays a great Superman, very much derived of the classic comic book formula. But also when he portrays Clark Kent on the alter ego side, I love the fact that he portrays him as kind of a dithery, kind of clumsy man, like he's going, "Oh, sorry, oh, Miss Lane, oh, sorry, like he's a very awkward, nervous guy, and I just find that really funny. So props to Christopher Reeve. He does a great job, and He also displays a lot of the emotional side to the character as well. Um, all the other characters are great. I like Lois Lane. Margot Kidder. Hang on, one sec. I can't pronounce her name very well. Margot Kidder. Yeah, I always think it's Margaret, but no, it's Margot Kidder who plays Lois Lane. She plays her very well. That's kind of the kind of feisty presence, and she's a nice romantic lead. They have good chemistry, and there's a very lovely scene where they're flying together, which is really nice. She's very good in the film, and I'll talk more about sort of the end of the film in a bit. I like Perry. Perry's a very funny character, much better done in this film than in Man of Steel and Batman vs Superman. He's very funny. He's just determined to get all the information out of Superman. Which is great. I mean, it's great to see there's more of a friction within this team who work at the Daily Planet, because in Man of Steel and Batman vs Superman, they're just people in an office, and it's not the same, is it? But I like Perry very much here. You've also got the people, like you've got Marlon Branddo who play the Godfather here, who plays Jor-El very briefly. He's very good. And all the other characters are great as well. Lex Luthor is the villain as well. He's great. Gene Hackman plays him really well. He doesn't get to interact with Superman very much, which is a shame. Not until the latter half. I would have liked very much if they could have had more scenes to bounce off each other, like more tension, because he just kind of speaks to Superman in his head at one point and says, come to meet me. And then when Superman arrives in his lair, and then he's broken the door down, he says, "Oh, please come in. The door's open." I just thought that was funny. You've got what's his name? Otis, I think his name is, who played by Ned Beatty. He's very funny, and they have a great load of banter. He provides a lot of comedy, which is great. And the other female character, who I can't actually remember the name of, Lex Luthor's accomplice. Yeah, I can't remember her name for the life of me, but as in the character's name. But yeah, she's good, and I love her conversion to the good side at the end of the film. That's very well done. One thing I do have to praise this film for is the emotional drama. It's nice to see how where Superman came from, and how he accustoms to human life as a child and a teenager. That's very good. And the scene when they find him is quite nice. The two farmhands find him as a boy, and then they clothe him and they raise him as their son, which is nice. It's lovely. And I do have some criticisms of this film. One of which being the death of Jonathan, the adopted father of Superman. I feel that his death is very abrupt. It's too quick. We don't spend enough time with him to care about him when he dies. I mean, he's a nice character, but he's basically a cameo in this film. He's basically a cameo. It would have been nice for Superman to kind of have more interaction with him, with Clark, to show more of their father-son dynamic. We saw some of that, but only for one scene, because then he just died straight away. Considering this film was 2.5 hours long, I suppose there wasn't much time for it, but I would have liked to have just seen a bit more development of that. And there's a really lovely scene also, not long, I mean the funeral was really well done as well, but when Clark leaves his adopted mother, there's a scene when they're standing in this cornfield and then they're saying goodbye. It's quite sweet, it's very moving. And they're hugging in the field, and then the camera kind of slowly moves forward around them. It's beautifully shot, that scene. That scene is beautifully shot. I think the film is really well made all round. I mean, the technicality aspects of it, the effects for the time are really good. The shots and cinematography work really well, especially for the scenes when he's flying as Superman. Yes, the film does take its time, which is a slight problem, but it's not anything major. There are some filler scenes which are annoying, but I can get over them. The film is undoubtedly 20 minutes too long. It's too long. That's the biggest bugbear I have with this film. It's it's a great film, and it was paced well, but I think you could lose 20 minutes of this at least. It's way too long. That's one of the only issues really, but I had a great amount of fun with this film. The production design is great. You can tell it's expensive. They spared no expense with this film. They really did. They got this one out there, and they had fun making it. You can tell they had fun making it. And I cannot let this review pass without mentioning the fantastic music score by John Williams. It is brilliant. That soundtrack. I mean, obviously there's the theme. The dun 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 dun. That's all great. That's really good. But also the other just the general soundtrack is all round really good and really moving. And that's the biggest praise I can give, is the emotional drama. Accompanied by the music. This film isn't necessarily the most action-packed superhero film, so younger viewers might find this a bit boring. But there are some minor action set pieces. The first of which being this kind of helicopter scene, which takes place about an hour into the film. It's very, very well done. The only annoying thing about Lois Lane is when she keeps screaming all the time, but that's a shame. But that's a minor thing, and most of that scene is really good, particularly when Superman kind of this is when we first kind of see him, doing saving somebody, which is very great to hear. Also got Millennium Falcon t-shirt. It's a new one. You have other scenes like the plane scene as well, which is good. There's some other minor action scenes, like when the planet blows up. That's quite tense. When Krypton blows up, that's quite tense. You've also got the climax of the film, which is really well done, when Superman has to save everybody from the nuclear missiles that Lex Luthor has shot out to destroy the San Andreas vault and whatnot. And the ending is powerful when Lois Lane dies. That's very powerful. And you can Christopher Reeve's acting there is brilliant. The emotion in his face really rings through, and I just love the fact that they hold out that moment when he pulls her out the car, sees her dead, and then he goes back and decides to turn back time to save her, which I think is lovely. I think that's a really a lovely moment. And it's quite powerful, it's quite epic when he's spinning around the earth and turning back time, which is apparently forbidden, but he does it anyway because obviously he's fallen in love with her. So yeah, there is one little in-joke obviously with Clark. Is Clark Kent Superman? She's like, oh, what a silly idea, Lois. That's a silly idea, she says to herself, and it's like, yeah, well, dramatic irony. At the end of the day, it's just great fun. There's no amount of there is a certain amount of window dressing, but it's all fairly contained. There's nothing that drags this film down. It is a bit long, in places. I think the direction is perfect though. For starting out the Superman films, this was perfect. It could maybe do with a couple more action scenes, but I think for the most part it's very impressive, and just the general scope of the movie is great, because you can tell there's big budget and they've spent a lot on it, and I think I just think it deserves to be a bit shorter, to not have killed off Jonathan so early, and Lex Luthor and Superman needed a few more scenes to kind of build up the tension of their relationship. They didn't really have a chemistry until the end, which was a kind of a shame. So those are a few things that kind of drag the film down. But there are some really nice, touching scenes. It's very heartwarming. It's and it's fun. It's great fun, and it has a lot of sentimental value to it. So I really liked it. Yeah, I really liked it, and I'm gonna rate Superman the movie a 8 out of 10. it's a good strong start, and I'm looking forward to watching Superman 2 because I've heard that that's really good. It's one of the crowning jewels of the Superman films. So yeah, that's pretty much all I've got to say about Superman, the movie. So yeah, tune in next time when I review Superman 2, and go and check out the Watchers Superman reviews because they're very good. And well, I'm actually, that's a lie. I haven't actually watched them. Sorry, I'm gonna watch them soon. But he does very good reviews, so do check him out. He's very nice. And later on tonight, we're doing a podcast on Planet of the Apes, the reboot era. So tune in for that. But I'll do for now, folks. So thank you all for watching, and as always, I'm Mr. TARDIS11. See ya.